Come on, turn. Get out of my sight, you freaking... Come on. Come on. Oh, there we go. Yeah. God bless America. I can't track for nothing. Yeah. Come on. Over the top. God, this thing maneuvers like a whale. Way too used to this, the exotics. Suppose it is good practice then. Find something that maneuvers horribly and see if you can still be effective. Come on, turn, turn, turn. Gah. Yeah. Maneuvers like a wet noodle. Like trying to play pool with a rope. Threatening sentinels. Bring 'em. Okay, what system, kind of system is this? Scientific developing fractious. Okay. Actually, I suppose I should come on, come on, stay on them. If only my hands would work like they're supposed to. Okay, well, the Gek must be mad at me now because I'm not getting anything for that. So I suppose I should go improve my standing with the Gek. But oh, just go down or up when I go left and right. Because I'm too used to a calibrated joystick and a much bigger surface to deal with. Yeah, stop with that silliness. Stop with the flipping thing on my crosshair. It should be something down at the left or the right, not directly in the field of combat. Ready. Going completely around him. I wonder if that was a fighter. One of them's got to be a fighter. Come on. Okay, well, we don't want to use that weapon because that's no fun. Come on, turn. Come on. Remember what kind of fauna, what level of fauna are here. Gonna have to stop. Check. I wonder. What was it? Limited fauna. Well, that's no fun. Hey, Anthead, how you doing? Wonder if we can find any creatures to, shall we say, scan. out there. Of course, it's probably not going to allow me to scan too much, so until I do that. Let's see. I really don't stream all that much. I do, but it's, I really haven't streamed enough to really be comfortable doing it, so I'm really not, really advertising the fact that I stream. Once in a while, I will. But, eh. Okay, now where's the creatures? I heard one back there, but... the thing is I play creative mode most of the time, and a lot of people don't really want to deal with that because they don't consider it a challenge. But I consider it a lot more fun because you can really be a raving lunatic without having to lose, 20 hours worth of work, like for the permadeath stuff. I really respect that the guys are doing that, definitely. But, growing up in the day when you if you played a game and you had to shut the computer down. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Scanned. That's my technique for scanning. Hi, buddy. Trading punches. You want some more pets? Do you? Okay. There you go. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like the normal mode, there's still some conflict there that you got to deal with and that kind of thing. Oh. Don't know if I've scanned that one yet. I work my butt off and come home, and I don't want to have to get beaten up and all that stuff and really stressed out by the games. So I'd much rather play as many cheats as possible, as long as it's not player versus player, because that's that's completely unacceptable. Did I get everybody? Yes, I did. Scan, darn it. That would be why the... Yeah, exactly, Aunt had... Exactly. I'm 50 years old, man. I just... life is too stressful to want to come home and play a game that stresses you out even more. Okay. Gah. Didn't get a single one. Unbelievable. Yeah, exactly. I know exactly how you feel. Yep, yep. The only one, I used to play Far Cry 2 a lot. Come on, thumbs. You'd think with opposable thumbs you'd be able to handle one of these controllers, but oh no. I'm trying to figure out which way they're going to go and lead them a little bit. Gah. Yeah, okay, whatever. Part of my enjoyment on creative is to be able to easily find the S-Class exotics. Well, relatively easily, I should say. After you figure out what you got to do to get them, they're not too bad. There's just a lot of waiting. And that's, predominantly what I do. So I don't want to subject anybody that's watching to sitting around. Oh well. Okay, that was a... Actually, we'll just scan them after all that. Okay, scanned. Yes, you can shoot down flying creatures. I've hit a couple of them. But some of the... Oh, I hit one. But some of them really require the... There's like a bolt caster add-on that pretty much tracks them, or it follows them, so you can pretty much just load up with that stuff and blast them. Now they're gonna try to poop on me, right? I hit one the other day during one of my streams, and it fell, but it was far enough away where I just couldn't. I actually couldn't find it. It was far enough away. I was surprised. I didn't think I shot it. It was a huge creature, though, so it might have been quite a long ways off. Eh. The go button is not the same from the spaceship to the exocraft. I always forget that. I think I may already have gotten one of those, but yep. Oh well. Oh yeah, I had one of my friends had one of the Ataris, and I had the console called, I think it was called an Odyssey, but it was pretty lame compared to the Atari, surprisingly. You know, it had color graphics and all that kind of thing, and it was interesting, but I had a buddy that had a Commodore, and I don't even know if it was the Commodore 64. I think it was one of the originals that had the tape drive and all that stuff. And I had the Apple IIc stuff, and you know, text-based games. Zork. Never did get very far in that one. Yeah, Pong, yes, yeah. Yep, exactly. I was, the Apple IIcs were just coming out and getting very popular the year after I got out of school, and they started offering adult education and that kind of stuff. I wonder if we can take this guy out, or these. Wow, impressive. Smacks me with his tail. See that? Yeah. Let's see. Scan. Scan. And the other guy was a. Yeah, yeah, exactly. You know, I'm surprised that, you know, they haven't found a better way to do things than with DOS, even though you don't think it's there, it's still there. It's still useful to know DOS commands. He's not happy. Yeah. Oh, come on. It's not moving. Temperament ambulatory. Temperament is moving? It's not exactly quite the definition I would think that they would. Yeah, exactly. That's probably why I did okay at the adult ed, because it was not quite as distracting. Not like I really need to get any units, but some things you got to kind of try to. Yeah, some of the odds and ends that I learned still kind of stick with me a little bit, but they've changed so much that it's nice to know the or origination of some of the DOS commands and that kind of thing, but you know they've pretty much come up with a GUI for anything that you might need to do in DOS, but still. Been quite a few times when I've was glad to know that I knew how to reset the wireless or the network um, uh, parameters. That was relatively painless. Yeah, yeah, that's the tough thing. you know, 3 hours worth of work for something that would take you 10 seconds to do. But then after that, and that was always the thing that was talked about was after you get it programmed, you know, you can walk away and it'll continue to draw stars for you all the time. Okay. Now, why is this at an angle? Is that actually at an angle to the horizon? Yeah, I think it is. Actually, I'm going to move on. So, yeah, I've streamed, how to jump galaxies in 20 minutes and, find the S classes, but the S class videos are, like I say, pretty boring. Yep. If you want good stuff, go to a GAC high-tech, comfortable or better system, and you'll find very high quality. Especially like if you go to an opulent system. But I find the S classes at the high-tech systems. But if you go to opulent, you generally get the A class and B class stuff pretty regularly. Yep. Got a collection. And then I don't know if you saw that if you play No Man's Sky, I'm assuming you do, that there was a streamer that published a video that was, the streamer was Zane's World. And somebody did post that in the G&G No Man's Sky section. And it was very informative as to how to find the oddball planets and the different areas of or the reasons for the star spectrum analysis and what that really actually means. Yeah, yep. definitely get, you don't, you know, if you're playing normal, yeah, it's very useful to know the conflict. But I find it much more useful. See, that one I would go to and I would sit at one of the trade terminals, trade stations, or trade uh, pads. Want to go look for exotic planets, or what are you thinking? Any ideas? Well, what do I need to... Okay, that's all. Yeah, I only have 14 slots there. Exocraft. And I've just got that stuff. Okay. I think we'll go looking for some exotic planets. It just sounds like a good plan. Yeah, that's probably better. Yeah, no filter. That allows us to see the colors better. Yeah, it's an S-Class freighter too, surprisingly. Those are not easy to find. I just happened to run into it. I don't have any advice as to how to find one. So M5P should be a decent one to find stuff. What you want, K and M class stars. M2F, and the lower the number, the more intense the actual star system is. M0PF. How many planets we got there? Let's go there. Yeah, and it's kind of neat because there's a dramatic increase in light year warp drive capability, because it's I can't remember which warp drive editions I've got. I don't know if I've got one or two or three. I've got all four. And it's 2,800 light years per leap. So makes a huge difference. This is the only S-Class that I've seen at all, ever. You know, I've got a couple of different saves, and this is the first one that I grabbed it, because it's like 40% warp advantage. Okay, what do we want to take? I think we'll take the one of these guys. Say, maneuver a whole lot better. Asteroid. Rocky Moon. Airless planet. How many planets are in the system? Boy, my memory is just sometimes just not very good. 3 planets, 2 moons. So there's 2 planets there. There's one hiding, I think. So, or maybe I'm just blind. There's the 3rd planet. Life incompatible planet. Well, that's not a exotic planet, but let's check out this Rocky Moon. They've changed a lot of the bump maps or the terrain maps, and kind of curious to see what changes they've made with the Rockies. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I'm real picky about which ones. These ones, I'm pretty much going to trade when I find something better. Um, there's one that looks like a hatchet because it's got a small dorsal fin, and then the two other fins fold down, and then it's got the beak nose thing in the back like this one does, and I really like the look of those. The squid ships are awesome. I wish the squid ships were had a little bit better textures, but highly variable temperatures, scarce fauna. Yeah, I hear you. Like those squid ships. Yep, like the squid ships. I just will not give those up because I really like the look of them, and they're just pretty cool. And that one that I was telling you about, where that looks kind of like a hatchet, I lost one of those in a glitch, and thankfully, King Snake and I and one of King Snake's friends, we were party chatting on PS4, and we were just kind of in the same sort of systems, relatively close together. We ended up warping and portal jumping to get to each other, and he found one of those on a planet that he visited, and so I was able to get that one back. But I was looking for one for 200 flipping hours after I lost it in the one glitch, which was very, very frustrating. Yeah, exactly. You find something that works for you and you stick with it. Yep. There's something about the squid ships that they maneuver a little bit smoother for me, or they maneuver fast enough, I should say, for me to actually be able to be a little bit smoother. I'm not having to counteract them, you know. I'm not going, okay, come on, turn, turn, turn. Oh, 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 too late, and then you know, I have to fight them at that point, and I just, you know, never works out good for me. But, yep, I really like No Man's Sky. I really have been impressed, even though it's got issues. Yep, on my actual other save, I've got three squid ships. A blue one, which has kind of or I should say, graduated color tentacle things that come out the front. They're like purple on the tips, and they're pretty cool. But one thing that I really wish they would change is the ability to modify the ship parameters and buy slots. You know, that would be pretty awesome. Same with freighters. You have a basic freighter, and you're allowed to buy extra performance or extra slots. Yep, exactly, and it's got issues. Everybody admits it has issues, but the promise is closer than uh, it has ever been for you know a computer generated game. You know, filter current mission. There we go. Okay. You know, M1. Yeah, I actually started watching Fantasize right, when the launch happened from day one. And I've pretty much been hooked ever since. I watched a number of other streamers that were really popular for a while, and the other streamers were, either, had their nose up their own butt so much that, I really just couldn't tolerate them too much after a while. Um, but Fantasize is really good. Real cool, real gentlemanly Canadian dude. If you haven't seen him, he hasn't been around a while because he had some stuff come up. But definitely keep your eyes open for him, or actually look at him, look for him, do a search. It's Size or Syze. Excuse me. Overgrown planet, which won't have enough trees by any way, shape, or form to be called overgrown, which is okay, and they're working on it. Yeah, exactly. The way that I found it is I had a program called Space Engine. Not Space Engineers, but Space Engine. And I still breached planet. Um, I still think Hello Games really should have used that as the basis. If you look up Solaris SE on YouTube, check their videos out. You'll be blown away. I mean, just the planets alone, and seeing how they've got them. So it's like you're at an observatory looking at an actual planet. It's unbelievable. Okay, yeah, you are subbed. Okay, good, fantastic. I hope he gets things together and comes back. I know he was really having some frustration issues with the AMD video card that had same issue that Archie was having, where the textures just were not coming out, and then life happened, and he's having to deal with that at the moment, I think. Yeah, and Fantasize would run a lot of the mods, and it'd be kind of neat seeing some of those, because there were some really nice PC mods that made the planets a little bit more lush. Large, huge trees and that kind of thing. It's a bubble planet. Yeah. Yep. Yep. I want to find one of these with animals, but none of them ever actually have animals. Oh my, oh my, oh wow. The AI actually parked where I wanted it to. Unbelievable. It's worst valet ever. Archie yelling at the AI for not following his instructions. Yep, okay. Is there water here? What is that? Is that... Yep, that's water. Okay. We don't want to try to land on the water. Okay, well. Overgrown planet. Arid planet. Let's go check and see if the arid planet or the overgrown planet has changed any. No. I want to go to the planet, not to the freighter. Someday I'll learn how to steer the target or change the target, but meh. Anybody else out there actually able to respond? I know some of the people are watching on PS4 possibly, and sometimes that's a real pain to actually converse. And when you got to select every single letter. Although there's voice command stuff on PS4 that I haven't played with yet. I think that's just to operate the system, not actually respond or voice to text. There's a meadow or something. Yeah, right. Wow, cool. It's almost like Iron Prairie. Okay, where are you, Crab? I heard you. Needs a lot more trees. Graham, that was called uh, Space Engine. Actually, it was done, from what I remember somebody saying, I think it was done by one Russian guy. He's got to have a team, though, because it's just so detailed that it makes No Man's Sky look like a cartoon, really. It's unbelievable how much of an improvement it would be. Oop, there's one. 5 of 15. Wow. Solaris SE, and then there's also Live Life 42 does one called it's the same program, but they streamed one called Stellar. If you can find that, that will show you what that program's really capable of. I mean, they they have it set up so that you're actually seeing the warped fields and you're actually seeing the optical distortion around black holes and stuff, and optical lensing around some of the stars. Just amazing. They really actually use known astronomical data to for they programmed that all in. It just is awesome. And the best part about it is it's free. It is actually free. Granted, you want a decent PC to run it because it's very detailed, but pretty darn impressive. There's a community that has been making add-ons for it, like for the moon textures and that kind of thing. They actually have some pretty massive files for the moon and the Earth, so that you can go right down in, and it's actually accurate instead of generated to some extent. The generated planets are just amazing though too. And I think that I started having computer problems, which is why I'm on PS4. But the last release that I actually messed with, they had just gotten the ability to have starships. So, and that was a year and a half, 2 years ago. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Very impressive. It really is for what they, what it sounded like just one guy doing it to start out with. Yeah, yep. And I think the last I saw in the 0.9.7.3 update, I think at that point he'd only generated 80,000 in donations, and for them to be able to do that, what they were doing with 80 grand, that's that's just amazing. You know, I don't know of any. Uh, I don't know of any other companies that have been anywhere near able to do that. Oh, you want to play? Talking about that space engine, that was, from what I remember, it was programmed by one guy to start out with, and it's actually free. He asked for donations, obviously to kind of keep things rolling, but um, just impressive. And the last I saw a number of years ago, at one of the updates that I actually had, he'd only gotten like 80,000 in donations, and just makes it, Makes No Man's Sky look like a cartoon. As much as I like it, it's definitely got a style, you know. But for somewhat realistic star star systems and uh, optical lensing and all that stuff that are actually out there, they actually account for in that program. Yeah, exactly. It's stylized but it's pretty darn neat. It really is. How realistic do you really want it? That's the trick. That's you know they would really have to do a number on the animals to be able to make them not look out of place. Yeah, I don't understand it either. Too, I've had a few people on my stream that were haters that had gone into other people's streams before too, that I recognize the names, and I'm like, most of the problem that I've seen is that a lot of people expected way too much. There were promises made that were not kept, but on top of that, you know, us old people, we know that unless you have a finished product in hand, you know, you can't necessarily believe what you're going to get until you get it. There were a lot of games. There have been a lot of games like that, and I don't know why NMS caught as much flack as it did for the same thing that people have been doing for 10 years or more. Yeah, Overgrown Planet is not as overgrown as I'd like it, but I guess they have had some problems with the algorithms that they're using to generate the appropriate amount of trees and plants and flora. They haven't figured out what is actually going wrong yet, and why it's not generating things like they expect. And yeah, I could fly up here, but 20% of the time I just hit the ceiling and fall back down. So, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yep. Yep. Definitely is a common thing now to just slam anything that you have a problem with, even though, you try to do it. Guess what? You probably will fail miserably. Okay. Planet. What? Ah, that's what we want. Okay. Looking for red stars. I want to try to find a K, because a K is generally M6F. They usually have a little bit weirder stuff. What I'm looking for is a K something PF. There's a little bit higher percentage of finding oddball stuff. M6, M4PF, M1F. What's this? No, just one planet. M0F, M1F. I am actually in the 8th galaxy. Bulldanger or something, I think. Yeah, exactly. Just kind of walk away because it's not worth the time and trouble to get wrapped up in stuff that, you know, is frustrating to you. Putting negative energy into it just adds to it. There's no point in that. 7. 5p. 4p. 9pf. Yep, no point in adding to the bad energy at all. We definitely have enough of that in the world without adding to it. Yeah, very true. Very true. Yep. Yep. But to complain about the things that you don't like when somebody else is enjoying it, you know, what does that really do for you? Thirsty planet. Yep. Yep. Anger has a way of growing on itself if you feed it. I had an ex that all she ever really wanted to do was fight. She was never happy unless she was making somebody else unhappy. And I swear I got ulcers from that. You know, I totally understand if you're angry about some things, but to perpetuate it and force other people to, have to deal with that. Yay! Yep. Have you guys seen these rings? They're kind of creepy in what they say. I think Ivy Mike had had a stream where he found them. Yeah. I'm kind of thinking that maybe they might be like the portals, where the portals allow us to jump planets. It'd be kind of neat if these allow us to jump galaxies and go back and forth. I'd really like that because, I don't mind bopping them around, but I would like to be able to come back to the Euclid once in a while without having to make another save. Making a cigarette. Hold on just one moment. Okay. I do like the creepy music though. Oh, if you play, I was doing a mission the other day in my other save, and it ended up glitching out. It was one of the ones where you had to do a delivery, and I went to the transferred to the other warp to the other galaxy, and there was a big freighter battle going on, and take out the ships. And when I warped back, it warped me inside another ship. So there's a few glitches in the missions that they have to deal with. And this one here too, where maybe, just maybe, I might actually get some real information, because the last couple of visits to the anomaly, Polo has just wanted me to give him animal data, and Nada has just kept telling me the same thing, and Polo kept giving me the same item every single time. So there's a glitch in my other game, I think. And I've got an alien weapon, so unless it's something absolutely fantastic. Yep. S-Class. Man. 24 slots, S-Class. 58 damage, 58% damage versus 29. Scanner, meh. That's not that important to me, but that 58% on my current one, my alien one, over the 29%. 10 more slots though. I can make up a lot of difference in 10 slots. I don't know, man. I don't know. Well, I know where to get the current multi-tool if I really wanted to. Because I'm still in Euclid on this one. Oh, laid out exactly the same. Yeah, because I've got a +4 damage, I think, or do I? No, not on this. Not on this. Not on this save. Yeah, I can't do it. I can't do it. If I had that +4 damage. Let me think about that for a second. Got. Yeah, I don't have that +4 damage. Still a hard call. 10 more slots though. I'll eventually get to +4. But that's the whole base building process at the very end. If you've got a, you know, with your Viking weapon here, eventually get a +4. Eventually. Alright. Yeah. I hate to give the other one up, but it's only a game. Let's see, does he hand me the... No, okay. Completely useless in creative mode, but hey, eventually I'll get something. And I haven't done anything to do with Artemis and that path at all. I've completely avoided that. Okay, well, we better do this before we get too far. Do we have any +3 stuff? No. Ones up here, because those will get moved out as soon as the +2 stuff starts showing up. There is a +3. Okay. Nope. And I hit that too soon. What do we have for scanner stuff? Should I leave room for... Yeah, probably. What do we have for mining? Yeah. Pulse splitter's kind of useless. The scatter blaster's kind of neat. Okay. Yep. The alien tool, multi-tools are like the S-class ships. They have a whole lot of performance, but there's not enough slots. There just aren't. Okay. Played around with that. You know what? I'm gonna go hit the space station real quick. I don't remember if I've done that yet or not. Frostbound, arid. Yeah, and my other save, I've got a 24 slot, but I think it's like a B class, and it's okay. You know, it's pretty good with that +4 damage, because I've got the +4 and the +3 and the +2 and the +1, so it's like, you know, pretty wicked. So I wish those alien multi-tools had a lot of slots, because that would be unbelievably potent. Okay, I got any spaceship stuff? Ah, alien B class, yeah. Yeah, with the extra slots, you can get around doing stuff. Plus, you have extra options that way too. You know, you can actually have the grenades. You can actually have the the terrain manipulator without having to swap stuff out. Well, hopefully, Anthead, you find the circuit board blueprint. Takes a little bit of farming to do those, or a little bit of a crafting, but they you can make them. You can make 1,000,000 each with those. You know, like I said, I really wish there was still some use for the monetary units in even in creative, because eventually you just collect a lot. Yeah, living glass is okay. Definitely gets you going for sure. The other thing that I found is, you know, if you can pirate nanites, and you know, if you're willing to take on the freighters and stuff to get nanites, you can make some pretty good units with going and locating the travelers. There's some travelers that are at the trade stations that will give you 70,000 for 15 nanites, and that's not a bad trade. Okay, where is the... There it is. M2F. And of course, the one thing that everybody is not happy about. Having to go there. I suppose I could just do it from the... maybe do it from the quick screen, but... Yep, Pimpin does that. Yep. You can make some pretty good progress doing that. Not, and you know, you can make a lot of money doing it that way. But, you know, if you're playing permadeath or survival, it's really tough. I need to rename some of these ships. Forsaken planet, that's got nothing going on it. Thirsty planet. I name my ships after people. I've got one named Old McMaku. I've got one Pimpin' Maku. And Zimmer. We all were together working on some of the theories about the S-class stuff, and trying to be able to have multiple bases on a planet and a system. Let's see if it's the same type of thirsty planet. So I kind of, then the guy who I basically considered to be an extra dad, more or less, was one of my girlfriend's ex-girlfriend's. It was her stepdad, and they had my picture on the wall in Florida, and they didn't even have their own sons. You know, I was pretty close to them. He passed away a week ago, 2 weeks ago now. And, yeah. So I named one after him. One of my squid ships. Yep, just bubbles. Hey, Ivy, how you doing? Well, let's do this before we well, we can't do that. Let's see. It's yeah, okay. There we go. Much better. It's got the portal type. Oddball word stuff. It's not the actual balloon or the bubble planet. Cool. Memories of Frost. What kind of weather is that? Yeah, surprising I'm actually streaming. Alright. Nah, that's where it's at. Come on, thumbs. Just can't quite get the... Okay. Yeah, it's bubbles at night. It just shows the reflection. Pretty cool. Hey Ivy, you ever hear of a program called Space Engine? Not the game Space Engineers, but Space Engine. I've been mentioning this a lot to a lot of people. I've always kind of thought that's what brought me to No Man's Sky. Is I was in a forum talking to somebody about Space Engine, and they told me about No Man's Sky, but really kind of thought that it would be a much better if Hello Games had started with that as the basis. Yeah, exactly, Mike. Exactly. Exactly. They've introduced spaceships now into it, so you can actually warp through things and do some pretty cool video captures. But you know, but the problem is that things are so realistic that the animals in No Man's Sky would look like really out of place. So we got an empty planet. It's a forsaken planet. Those are actually kind of boring. Let's see if we can find a K system. Yeah, the best thing about that space engine is last I saw when I played with it last was that it was free. So, oh, there we go. Where's that galaxy center? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so K, nope. Come on, give me a K. I want a K. M2. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, take a look at that Solaris SE. Um, I 971 and 972 I really like because they did a fantastic job with the music and the way that their cinematography is just unbelievable. I have not found a single K star in this galaxy. In quite a long time. M6PF. Nope, only one planet. 2P. What was that? 08, yeah. 6PF. Yeah. So, do we want to be hooligans or do we want to continue exploration? Almost want to try to be a little bit of a hooligan. It could be, you never know. This is another thing that I think they could improve upon. Have a cursor that you can use to pick out the star that you actually want to check, instead of having it fly around aimlessly and pick exactly what you don't want to see. Well, we'll check about 5 more stars and see if we can't find a K. And if not, I think we're going to try to find someplace that could be a little knobhead. Yeah, it really does, because it's frustrating when you're, yeah, it gets to be a little frustrating. Once you start getting used to it and how it actually works, then it's like, then it's holding you back somewhat. Actually, I suppose I should check to see if I actually have fuel. And of course, it's yelling at me about my internet being silly. And how's the stream look to you guys? Is it even slightly reasonable? Yeah, I'm going the wrong way. Of course, I am broadcasting in 1080, so I suppose I could turn that down a little bit for. M5P, M8P. Okay. Engineering successful. Renewable supply, high tech balanced, nano engineering, tech engineering adequate. Technology developing, technology promising. Come on, high tech, wealthy. Viking high tech one, comfortable. What was that? Corvex engineering opulent. Let's go there. And see what kind of animals we can find. Even have anything set up in this at all? No. Well, that's not such a huge deal, but definitely got to do something about that. And I don't use them to warp, so that's pretty much pointless. coolant. Anton petrol. Okay, do we have a damage? Damage +2. Okay, now we gotta boost the. Do we have any 3s? Yep, there we go. And a coolant. We have a coolant. And a damage 2. Okay. And we're going to want to do I really want rockets? Nah. Okay. There we go. That's better. Alrighty. Yeah, the only problem, Graham, is I have the memory of a goldfish. And I don't have anything to write with right now. Now, it would be fantastic if we could find a trade line airless planet. Do we have any trade lines? Yeah, Anthead's been around. We're in a group called the Geknip Gang. If you're not aware of that, they've got a YouTube channel where they play head-to-head permadeath matches. And you want to talk about awesome. I hate permadeath. I hate playing it myself, but watching it, man, oh man. It's a whole lot of fun. You could feel the tension and the stress, you know. It's awesome. Ivy, he's a contestant. He's a regular streamer too. I suggest you check him out for sure. I think he's starting to get into the Fortnite. Yeah, they're just a huge, awesome community. Well, not huge, but very, hugely awesome. Landing area not clear. Really? Trees don't stop you any other time. Why should jumping jacks? Yep. Obsidian heat. Black mineral heat? Black crystalline? I don't get it. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Oh, poop my head. Yeah, maybe I did get it. I'm not about to take a look at that in my screenshots, so that was convenient. Alrighty. Yes, that's right. There are no free slots because it's an S class and you don't have many to begin with. Yeah. I'm not seeing any trade lines. And I don't generally find any of the S-class ships if I'm not following a trade line. I've tried the scanned trade locations, but it just doesn't work for me. So that's the other thing that drives me nuts. I wish the freighter warp volumes were controlled by the sound effects, the SF volumes. It doesn't seem to be so. What kind of system is this? It is a Corvex, so I probably should hit the trade or the space station just to see if they have anything interesting. That I don't already have. Yay. That jetpack boost is great stuff. Because I keep hitting the walls. Gotta walk up the ramp of shame. Have you guys seen any of the metallic ships? Boy, do they look nice. I've seen some silver ones and some gold ones, and they just look awesome. Yeah, like this. That's neat. Look pretty darn neat. Okay, well, we're flying in there. And of course, I need to buy more pod stuff. Okay. What do we got for cargo? We don't have any cargo space either. Darn. Need to hit some more drop pods. Actually, what I should have done is sold all those Gravitino balls. And of course, I can't move that one. Okay, that ought to help. Yeah, I'm sneaky. Let's see if we can't find a K again. M0F. Now, if it's an M0PF with 6 flippin' planets, M9PF. And no. I'll check a couple of the green ones. Come on. There you go. 5PF. Well, what was that M5PF? How many planets? Come on. There you go. 5. Is there any moons here? There's a moon. Yeah, Anthead. It was because I'm playing creative, and there's a possibility that my game has actually got issues, but I'm afraid to actually reload everything. Well, in creative mode, yeah, you don't get alert. I don't get alerted for anything. Matter of fact, like I say, the one time that I had that mission that I actually had to deal with pirates and a freighter battle. You know, I made the mistake of hitting a couple of the trade ships, and they never called anybody on me. But it could just be, like I say, that Frostbound. Bountiful planet. That one was already scanned. Corrosive planet. That one's not one of the odd planets, but the other one homeworld that I had was 300 degrees normally, and during the storms it was 605, I think. That's that one that I had the predatory little teddy bears. That was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. couldn't stop laughing, getting my butt kicked. You know, I keep thinking of my little niece throwing a temper tantrum wearing a onesie, a teddy bear onesie. It's funny. What do you have for empty of fauna? It's I don't understand how some of these can be absolutely beautiful and not be just chock full of animals. Not a single crab to be found except when you don't need them. That was right over here. No. Yeah. Eh. Hmm. That's interesting. Dotted lines. Eh. Nah. Okay. Well, what time is it getting to be? 7:40, not quite too late. I got to update my resume because I'm getting laid off tomorrow, so I've got to go turn that into a couple places and make sure my laundry's done so that I can look presentable. But hey, there's a couple of trade lines. Actually, where are those coming from? That one's from that planet. There's one that's coming down there. That one's from this planet. Are there any coming from the space station? That one is Okay. Now I've noticed that some of these trade lines are different colors now, and I still haven't figured that out, what the colors mean. There's red, yellow, gold, and the white. And I'm not seeing any correlation, because sometimes there'll be a traveler there, sometimes there won't. So I don't think that really works out quite like I thought it was. Probably a little too far to exactly hit the trade location, but we'll see. Nope. Not quite. Well, there's that. So it's over. There, right there. Ah. What you want to do is not park, except it's a little steep. Okay, so we'll go over here. Do I still have a video feed? You guys, is the video still good? Come on, let me through. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how things go. I wouldn't mind a bit of a week off, though. Ah, cool. Yeah, some of these planets are just amazing. Now there was another technique a guy had told me about, and what he would do is he would fly into a high-tech system that was either comfortable or wealthy, and he would fly to the trade station, not exactly land, he would just kind of hover. It would generate ships that would fly in, and if he didn't see a exotic, he would fly 15 seconds away or so, turn back around and come back in. It would regenerate. Ah, okay. What was it like before 1.3? Yeah, I had a big talk the other day on a video about that one. The one I think it's called, the guy's name's called Awesome Gamer or something like that. Awesome guy. He's been around on the streams, and he's not really trolling or anything like that. He's not happy, you know, because he expected the game to be exactly like the E3 trailer, And I think the mistake with the E3 trailer was that it was more or less the concept that they used to uh, let their investors know what their dreams and aspirations were, like either by it being just a, you know, 5 planet, 6 planet system that was generating, the animals and the environment and whatnot, or it was a flat out just an animation. And the guy was, he's just like, they need to release that game. They need to release that game. They need to really release that game. And I'm like, here's the thing though, is that game was probably not optimized even in the slightest little bit. Probably barely ran on the system that they had, but it was stable. It may have only been one system. And when you start putting the numbers of these, the galaxies in for the numbers of stars, you better have the thing fairly reasonably optimized. Yeah, but I just want that game. Yeah, it's coming. How many updates have they had? How many changes have they made? They're actually keeping a pretty close eye on things and at least trying to take the advice of the people that are really enjoying the game. I do like the ship scanner. However, I would like the scanner to work with the freighters as well. Is this an opulent system? I don't remember. Satisfactory. Okay. Just came here because it was a... Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah, I hope so too. I'm not upset with where it's at right now, but I didn't spend the $60 that some people had. I can understand if you spent $60 and you expected exactly what was promised at the E3. I mean, I understand it. I get it. But I also understand that, don't believe anything you hear at all unless, you've proven it by having the product in your hand. That's what salesmen are for, is to make you believe that you're getting what you want and what they promise. And I've not, very seldom do I have I had run-ins with salesmen that really made me warm and fuzzy. When you buy a couple of new cars and they are absolute problem children, doesn't make you happy. I couldn't help it. In my other save, I named one of these the ball. That's not a ball one, but one of the ball freighters. Had to name it David Copperballs. Couldn't handle it. Had to do it. Yep. 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 I like this game a lot. Like I say, it does need to be improved, but this compared to what was being played when I was growing up, this is a flippin' dream come true. It really is. It's absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, I found a Rasa Mama with now that one doesn't have the, it's the ones that have the two side pods that come forward. I had found a Rasa with that, and it was an A-class 37 slot. So That was the one time I did not really hesitate. I grabbed my one S class that I really didn't like, and I traded that one just because of all the slots. And being an A class, it actually maneuvers fairly well. Really? I never heard that punchline ever before. I just have a lot of friends that are British, and it just the balls on the side were copper, and I couldn't not do it. Hmm. Well, it look like anything's going to be happening here. Not till sunrise. I'm not going to wait that long. And I think I'm probably going to call it a night for streaming, because I got to update my resume and get that taken care of and printed out and catch up to my life. I think I'm just going to turn that resume in on the way into work. See what happens. Ah. Yeah, I don't remember the old joke or the actual full thing at all. I don't think I ever heard it actually. Alrighty. Yeah, and I haven't even had any dinner yet. I've just been kind of stressed, so just trying to occupy my brain. Yeah, and sad thing was, I think the situation is that this guy that I was replacing while he was out on medical leave, his insurance funds ran out, so the doctors finally they decided they just kicked him loose after they probably used up all his medical bill money or medical insurance, instead of letting the guy actually heal, because he had to have his whole shoulder rebuilt completely. Ah, okay. Uh, yeah, I'll have to see if I can't work that out into one of these ships somehow. Yep. Well, is have a good evening, and I will probably don't know when I'm going to end up coming back on again, but we'll see. Yeah, yeah, it was kind of sudden. Even the director of the department was kind of visibly upset about the situation, because I think they fully intended on giving me a couple of weeks notice at least, and it's like, one day I get basically. So, but I made a real good name for myself there, and they're like, man, you got to check back. You got to check back next time something comes up. We won't hesitate to get you back here. So, with any luck, yep. All right, Aunt, have a good night, and Graham, you have a good evening too, and whoever else is out there in internet world. Talk to you next time.